If there's one thing that Trump does every time is walk the thinnest razor line between two sides. I remember when this first happened with Dapple. Remember Dapple? The pipeline? Before the election, he was walking that line. What am I going to do? Am I going to side with these side? Am I going to side with that side? He's an expert at it. Any politician will be. But damn, it's frustrating how good Trump is at this, even now. I get more shit because I'm less trusting of the magical white hats that are going to reel in and fix everything. I'm really sick of that crap because we still have a centralized system. And even if Trump is this magical Jesus Aslan figure, which honestly he could be, I'll explain why in a bit. It doesn't solve the problem that when Trump's gone, what's to stop the next Clinton or the next Trump? If you think it's Trump, we have a system that arms the psychopath and leads them to great power, and everything is enabled based on that. Even our border policy, if you think about it, tracing some of Epstein's contacts, you've got a fraudulent Saudi passport given by a friend who was paid $2 million by another friend of Les Wexner. And then you think about what's that guy, that freaking crazy ass Brennan dude who signed all those passports for the fake Saudi attack. I call it fake because it was an inside job. It's really ridiculous that we're not admitting that. That's what scares me about the truth movement, is that we pretend that Julian Assange is this secret wild card when he's already said that he finds anyone that entertains 9/11 being an inside job is preposterous and ridiculous. I don't have a lot of confidence in this magic white hat scenario. Still, I try as best I can to look at what I can and to go where the news leads me. And Trump leads a very, very thin line. So this pick of Gisela Maxwell, a perfect example. It's called She Was Caught, standing outside of, or sitting outside of In-N-Out Burger, in a Walmart shirt, reading a book about CIA people that have been busted at the In-N-Out Burger in Los Angeles, just down the street from Hollywood. Now, we're billing this as she was caught, that she was sitting there at the burger joint eating, and we caught her. It bothers me that we say things like this because these are our tax dollars that are paying for this kind of stuff. They're paying for these stories that we're buying into. Our tax dollars are going to a reality show where the entire set is our country. Our First Amendment is a prop in Florida. It's a prop in a movie. The fact that you can't boycott Israel in 28 countries is something that we're supposed to pretend to ignore because of the magical white hats that are going to be saving Israel for last. This shit's unnerving because this is a Bill of Rights. This isn't a reality show. This is our Bill of Rights. But that's what we've turned this into. The entire country is living inside of a reality show. And this Epstein hung himself in a prison where there's no way to hang yourself while under suicide watch. It shouldn't be as entertaining as it is. It worries me that it's as entertaining as it is because people are going along with the fact that this is what our tax dollars go for. We could be building our communities. We could be ending the stranglehold over us with federal income tax. We could be ending this notion that Social Security is a viable system that's going to pay. We could end this myth that inflation isn't eating us alive every single day. I should say that it's pretending that it's not eating us alive every single day. It's insane what's happening around us, but we just love the reality show. I'm bitching right now, but it's really frustrating that more don't see that. So this latest sign is In-N-Out. Why would she show a picture at In-N-Out? And it's kind of a good sign because In-N-Out has been known for printing Christian Bible verses on their cup. And when I look at this, I see it more as a sign of sort of like that Patriots in control. It's a nod back to the Q folks, just like Steve Bannon coming on saying QQQ trust in that interview. Same kind of deal. It also supposedly sends a sign back to Mossad that you're girls with Jesus now. That's how I interpret that to mean. But we really have to assume that Mossad has to wait for these media disclosures to inform them. That's why they frustrate me. These are for the public. They're not actually what's happening. A couple of positive things have happened lately that I should mention. One of which is that the city of Astana changed their name. That city is the new capital, or the capital of the New World Order. I say that because it's been built that way. The entire city has been laid out in such a fashion, it's pretty gross. All of the signs are there that this city, here you see the phoenix, which we've talked about. There's actually an underground serpent inside of this phoenix that winds around like a kundalini. And this was flooded with water in 2015. This phoenix rising again, think about the migrant horde. There's like a caravan of people rising up through Quetzalcoatl, or America, the phoenix rising. If you're familiar with my work from last year, you know about 1010 and the rise of the phoenix. It's literally all right here. This city is Astana, and it changed its name just in April or May or March. It changed its name back to the old ruler. It's named the city in memory of him. I think that's a good sign. It's like telling you, okay, our original plan has changed. It's not going to be this. I know it sounds like I'm reaching, and that's fine because I'm pretty negative on this stuff all the time anyway. So I'm just trying to have a fair look at all this. But Astana, this bird is heading right into your dollar bill, the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill. That pyramid, inside of that pyramid is an eye, a giant eye. And that eye, that's Ron Paul, love that guy. That eye is right here. This is, I think this is the third eye, and I'll tell you why. So much is happening with threes right now. So on the Great Pyramid, the one in the center, on the north door, the only decoration on the pyramid is this. This might be hard to see, but this is actually a silhouette of an eye, a pupil or an iris. And you can imagine that, first of all, these stones in front aren't supposed to be there. This is what used to be the entrance. No mortal that we know of has been in the official entrance of the pyramid, which is pretty trippy. Imagine a torch down below shining up. It would actually cause a shadow in this back channel, and the front would be lit. It would look just like an eye. It would look like an eye from really far away. Now, the 9th of Av was on October 11th. I told you guys that. Jewish, many in Israel, not everyone, but many, the ones in charge, want to build a third temple. The last two were destroyed on the 9th of Av. They believe that the third temple will cause the coming of, so like the second coming, the Mashiach is Jared Kushner. And by doing this, they're basically bringing on the prophecy, the final, what Christians would call final judgment day. I think that you're looking more at like a ceremony of the Abrahamic religions causing a joining, a unification in the New World Order. It's like a dissonance spell. This is how you dissonate someone, if that's a word, into killing each other. But there's a lot of threes happening. There's three pyramids. There's the third temple. There's the third eye. Again, that one is the third eye, the one above the door. And then in Astana, they were building this third eye, the eye in the pyramid again. It's a really interesting take. Now, the negative side with that would be, well, the third temple is here to kill us all. But there's a positive side to all that. When I say kill us all, I mean rule us all. There's a positive side of that too, though. And it's the symbology of three. Exodus 3:3:3. Go up to the land flowing with milk and honey. So the milk and honey is your pituitary and your pineal gland. These glands secrete, normally they secrete milk, and then DMT you would call honey. The grand gallery would be the connection between the pituitary to the pineal. The pituitary is a little bit lower. Both these are in the apple core of your head. The pituitary is up front, but down low. And the pineal is back and up high. These are on opposite sides of the spinal reptilian limbic cortex, the reptilian brain there. It's the clitoris of your consciousness. To be honest, it secretes serotonin. That serotonin regulates your waking state. But I think it's wrong to call that waking. It more regulates your living dreamtime state. It's your ego is congealed inside this pineal. What you see is a constant identity spread across time. As serotonin is secreted, it can be turned into melatonin at night. In fact, if you cover your third eye, you're stimulating the melatonin production. That's going to regulate your sleep time. Then there's a third temple, which is melatonin. It's sort of like adrenaline for consciousness. Serotonin is converted to melatonin, and it happens in different situations in life. One of which, the only one I've really studied a lot, goes back to my last video, which is near-death experience or even demonic possessions. This idea that you're slipping out of the veil. When your brain starts to detect that you're about to go, it goes into mad melatonin production. That melatonin unseats you from the driver's seat. It's sort of an emergency release for all your buckles when you're strapped into the pilot seat. It's the third temple. And if I was like a badass good alchemist, and it'd be great if Trump was, I would want to transmute the third temple being New World Order pyramid to eye, the eye in the pyramid, the third eye. This would be a great awakening. Everyone would be in a trance-like shamanic dream state, which is going to scare half of you. You're going to be like, oh my God, that sounds terrible. But it's basically an enlightenment. It's epiphany. You secrete epiphany through melatonin. We secrete consciousness through the pineapple, the pineal. There's a Bible verse about the pineal. There's a lot happening right now. There's no way I'm going to be able to keep up with all of it. I'm still on that weird fence where, how's this going to go? 28 states can't boycott a foreign country right now. That's a literal venom that's been injected into our voting block that says you may not address the cobra in the couch. You may not try and fight it. You may do nothing. You were anti-Semitic to even consider that political bigamy or polygamy, international polygamy, is wrong. That's what we have now. We have both parties insisting that political polygamy is a good thing. It's really messed up. This is like some major, massive mind control. And that's why I love the idea of us converting some serotonin into some melatonin and going inside ourselves and having a look at what's happening in our world. It's interesting because the inversion, which is this Mossad idea, this inversion through Catholicism, through pedophilia, through Judaism, through Hollywood, mind control, media, through Christianity, through Satanism, through child sacrifice, through human trafficking. These are all three inversions inside the same religion, inside the same Abrahamic religion. Now, I've always approached it from, well, these are all bad. We have to undo these. But trauma cracks you open, man. Anyone enlightened out there has probably gotten there through some trauma. And there's so much trust that's wrapped up into this idea that we're all going to burn in hell if we don't find salvation, or we should get in a pit and hope for salvation of some kind, for someone else to rescue us, or by admitting of how flawed or broken we are, we subject ourselves to this blueprint of mind control and hope for redemption. That's a good setup for a trauma. That's a good setup for a husk breaking open, for a buckeye hitting the ground and cracking. That crack cracks you open, releases the sacred oil from the chrism. They say that you meditate to get to this state. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, oh, I've got this all figured out. I don't. I want to figure it out. But I'm following truth and sovereignty. I'm not picking a side and going, I need to fill in the sides to fill in the data to prove that this side is winning right now. Sovereignty is not winning right now. Decentralization is not winning right now. Bioregionalism is not winning right now. Instead, what happens is that we're all buying into this reality show that's now broken the set. It's no longer wandering around Hollywood. It wanders around the entire country. It's got a billionaire. It's got a tropical island. It's got submarines. It's got pedophilia. It's got blackmail. It's got presidents in blue dresses and red shoes. It's got popes. It's got kings and queens. It literally has everything that would be called heroin for entertainment. It's sucking us all in. And we can keep watching this show, but that's what the snake does, that snake charming thing. You're locked in. People say that it's the guy playing the flute that locks the snake in. But I've been on the Appalachian Trail. I've ran into a rattlesnake. I've been under that trance where it's like an instant fear. You're like, holy shit. You were locked into that snake too. You cannot take your eyes off that snake. The snake charmer cannot take his eyes off of that snake. It's a myth to say that he's charming the snake. They have entered into a mutual trance. They are both charmed. None of our needs as plebs, as citizens in this country, are being met because of this trance, because of all these stories. And we're going to keep sending 100 senators to DC, and they're going to investigate 3, and they're going to catch 1. And if you keep doing the math, this is what we end up with. Just more and more reality show bullshit.